We're going to watch Ostrix. Ostrix is one of the very few people in the community that does fantastic work when it comes to minion stuff. Ostrix is not shy from the weapon swap strategy. And there's been a couple of things that I'm personally not a big fan of when it comes to the weapon swap tech. I made a comment in this video. Basically, when you look at the top tier specters, I have a list here. Single target Death Knights have been proven to basically be the top dogs for single target. And followed by Powered Zealots, followed by Frozen Mandibles, also known as Cocaine Ends. And then after that, you get all the other functional ones like Haranos, Red of the Pit, Volgards. But for the sake of clearing, the very top end of doing clearing has always been Lost Men Zealots or Brine Maidens for a weapon swaps playstyle. Essentially, what you do is you double-click weapon swap, and they will be teleported to you. But most importantly, they will do their first ability, and they will do that instantly. And then you weapon swap them, and they'll do the same thing again. Otherwise, they start using abilities that are really bad. And I really hated that playstyle, but it is the best way to clear for minion builds, followed by Frozen Mandibles, in my opinion. That is why I'm running Frozen Mandibles, because they have a very good single target setup, and they do very good at clearing, and I don't have to weapon swap for it. And then that's followed by Powered Zealots, Volgards, Haran, Spider of the Pits, and stuff like that, right? So my concern with weapon swap is that because of it becoming instant, my concern has always been that we were going to convocate our minions. That was my main concern with the changes they did, that we were going to be using that as a convocation system. And, you know, that was my main concern. And then I saw this video, which we're going to watch from Ostrix. So let's watch the video first, and I'm going to talk about it, because there's a thing called lingering specters. So what happens when you weapon swap is apparently your other specters are lingering and staying for like a few seconds before they go away. So I'm going to let Ostrix take over, and let's watch the video.
Hey guys, it's Ostrix. Today I wanted to make a video talking about two pieces of tech in response to the nerfs of my Bogfeld instability weapon swap build. So that was targeted, nerfed in the most recent hot fix slash patch.
Yeah, for the race, right?
People were practicing it for the race, so I think GG found it to be a little too strong for the race and decided to, you know, go right ahead and nerf it right away. But they left Spectre lingering in the game, and here's what I have for you guys after it's been eliminated. The Death Knight Spectre. So the Death Knight Spectre is already known as one of the best single target specters in the game. Specifically the rare version of it. You have to bind the rare version of the Spectre because it has a different move than the normal or magic monsters. And you can abuse it with weapon swapping and lingering to multiply the amount you have and spam attacks faster than would be possible if you were not spamming weapon swap. So very strong for weapon swap linger tech. If you don't know about the weapon swap linger tech already, I'll put some videos in the description about it. And there's also some previous videos that are uploaded on my channel where I talk about it too. The video right before this one, I kind of showed how to do it. And on that note, the second piece of tech I wanted to share today is that it is actually possible to linger two different sets of specters. And I want to give a big shout out to Sinistra in my community who brought this up to me and showed me step by step exactly how they executed it. So big shout outs to Sinistra for finding this. Basically how it works is you have
and this is kind of crazy,
specters on both weapon sets, but you can make it so the amount of spirit you have available for those specters changes from your weapon set by having gigantic following on
there is
one
a way
weapon
to
set
do this
and
without
not on
gigantic
another.
following as well.
So I'm going to show you step by step exactly what you need to do. First, you need to start with you're on the weapon set that does not have gigantic following enabled, and you want to max out the specter that you want to have less of. You're going to have one less of one of these when you're doing this. So in this case, I want more Death Knights than Lost Men Zealot. So I'm going to start out by maxing it with this button right here. Then I'm going to open this arrow, and I'm going to reduce the amount on this second weapon set to 0. Then I'm going to max the Death Knights with this button. And then I'm going to weapon swap. So you can see I weapon swapped here. I'm on the gigantic following set, and there's 4 here with the exclamation mark and 5 here with the exclamation mark. What you want to do is on the one that you want less of, that you care less about, this is Lost Men Zealots in this case for me, I'm going to press the minus button until this is no longer grayed out. So I'm going to click it once, and it looks like once was enough, and you can see that it's now spinning and highlighted. So what this results in is you able to actually have both sets of them lingering. You can see that both of them are lingering without being stunned now, which means that both the Death Knights and the Lost Men Zealots are allowed to act and spam their abilities while spamming.
Now, I want to point out that obviously this is not intended. Like, obviously this is not supposed to be the case. I was already a little concerned when it comes to the weapon swap strat, because you're convocating your minions. And for those of you who don't know what convocate is, it's a skill from Path of Exile 1 where you teleport your minions to you. But here's the thing, though. When we have the instant weapon swap, we can then do this. And there's been an ongoing conversation with GGG whether or not they should give us the ability to convocate our minions. But we already have that through just weapon swapping, which has been made much faster now with the instant weapon swap. And this system obviously is not intended. It's kind of wild that this is happening. So I made a comment on this video actually, and I said, you know, when I was concerned about weapon swapping, I didn't expect it to become this brutal. But let's finish watching the video. It's all fantastic.
Extremely strong. The one catch that I found about this versus the other way is that you need to be on your second weapon set, the set without gigantic following, when you enter a new zone. So whenever you go into an abyssal depths or you exit a map or you enter a map, you have to be on this set. Otherwise it breaks. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick. I'm going to be on the wrong weapon set, which is my one with gigantic following. And I'm going to go to a zone real quick. And you'll see that when I do this, something has changed. Now, instead of having both of them on each set lingering, there's only 3 Death Knights available on my second weapon set. And when I weapon swap, there's 4 Zealots, and one of the Death Knights is actually still here. So this is broken. The way that you fix that is just by going in and resetting it up. I'll show you how to do it again real quick. So on the second weapon set, you max the thing that you don't want the most of, in this case the Zealots. Then you go in here, you put this to 0 in this panel, exit out, max the Death Knights, and then weapon swap, and then minus this button on the Zealots until it's like this, and then it's back to working. So yeah, this is really ridiculously strong to have 2 sets of specters lingering. There's a lot of ways you can abuse this. I'm sure you guys will have your own specters and stuff like that you'd like to use for this. I'm going to have in the description a link to my character. I just started SSF mapping again fresh yesterday, so very early days for my character with the Death Knight swap, but it's very strong so far. So yeah, guys, that's all I wanted to share today. I hope you guys are doing great, and take it easy. Later.
Yeah. So anyways, this whole lingering tech is kind of wild. It really is. Like the whole weapon swapping, they stay. You see here, he's weapon swapping on a consistent basis. You can see here on the top left. And what happens is that the Lost Men Zealots will shoot these projectiles. This is the one thing that is the reason Lost Men Zealots is, in my opinion, the best clearing specter. You can do that with Bride Maidens as well. So I've never been a big fan of that, because basically you're playing and you're just mashing the weapon swap button, or you can just scroll it, I guess, or whatever system keybind you want to use. But you have to like consistently weapon swap for this to happen, and it's quite annoying. But on the other hand, the whole lingering thing is kind of crazy, because it allows you to have this effect of them staying and doing damage, and then your other specters are staying and doing damage as well, which is obviously not allowed. Well, I mean, I guess it is allowed, a clever use of game mechanic, but it's not intended. So it's pretty cool that Sinistra and Ostrix found this. I think it's really cool. But wanted to shed some light on it. Is like my comment said, when I said I was concerned with instant weapon swap regarding minion plays, I did not expect it to be this brutal. So it does get us back to the conversation of, if we are able to convocate our minions by weapon swapping, why not remove that effect and give us convocation then? Because it's literally the same thing. It's just really frustrating that we have to do the whole weapon swap. Also, thing to point out is that this has been made even better because we can lock our weapons now on our weapon sets. So you can have the scepter and shield or whatever you're running, or focus, and you can lock them. So when you do a weapon swap, it doesn't actually swap your weapons. It's just a system for you to say, well, now I don't want minions, now I do want minions, and then you teleport your minions to you by double clicking the weapon swap. And it's like, I don't know. I've just never been a big fan of that playstyle. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the situation. So I wanted to shed some light on it and showcase this new weapon swap tech that Ostrix and Sinistra has. Because I really hope they're going to fix this. But for now, that is, without a doubt, the best way to play a minion build in PoE 2. is to run, well, I mean, you can just look at the list. You'll run Death Knights with either Lost Men Zealots and Brine Maidens. So you have one for clearing, one for single target, and then you weapon swap consistently. And that's it. You'll just have the best of two worlds by just spamming weapon swap. And it's like, that's sure how I feel about it. Anyways, I guess my question I'm going to leave a link in the description below to this video, of course. A big shout out to Allstrix and Sinistro. But I will ask you guys this. Do you guys think that, let's say they should fix the lingering, obviously, but because of the weapon swap convocation, how many people in the community actually want GGG to give us the convocation skill? There are some arguments around it because it will be the same playstyle as PoE 1 and all that. I get that. But I mean, at this point, we're all playing like it anyways. And I'm in the category of saying, just give us convocation. That's my genuine opinion. Just give us convocation and remove the teleporting effect of specters. I think that the easiest way to do it would just be that if you weapon swap with your specters disabled and you bring them back, they should just have a rest timer, and that would just fix this issue, and the lingering issue would fix, and the weapon swap's playstyle would go away. But they would have to compensate that by making sure that we do have convocation. And that also means that if you're weapon swapping to do some other ability, you would still have to have your minions summoned to pull that off, right? And I think that would be a fair middle ground to solving the issue, but also making sure that we still have the functionality of getting our minions to our position, and convocation would actually solve that. So that is my current take on it, but I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts here in the Twitch chat and YouTube chat now, since I'm live recording this, but I want to hear you guys on YouTube as well. So let me know in the comments below, and hit the like button, subscribe for more content and all that jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe and keep rocking.